Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries. Book 2, Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions. This is Chapter 12, Restitution and Return. Welcome everyone to our Monday night Scribes and Scrolls Candlekeep game happening every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain, where we are hashtag making Mondays fun again. Actually, I think it's hashtag Mondays are fun again.
We haven't decided. We haven't taken
it changes depending on who's feeling like Monday was fun. But welcome everyone. And look, we got our Dwight back. I don't have to. I forgot to tell you, Dwight. Ricky made his own drinking game out of trying to, in every scene, say, "What does Mizya think?"
This is what I expect of my friends.
And getting me to, just because he wanted to hear me say, yes, yes.
Hey.
There we go.
There it is once.
There we go.
Hey, that one time he did it though at the end of the last game when Mizya said yes, yes before entering to the rat final boss. That was
that was the last witch bolt when you were making your plan. And Vorn says, "Are you ready, Mizya?" And with lightning crackling between her fingers and her head tilted down, she says, "Yes, yes."
Yes!
So,
that was awesome.
That was
awesome.
Did I inadvertently create a slogan for my character?
You did.
Get
Yes,
on a
yes.
t-shirt?
You know, Vaxeldon had dagger, dagger, dagger. Mizya has yes,
yes. It's all communicated in the various tones in which they say that. So,
Few of them are positive.
yeah, exactly. So, we're going to do a couple of super quick announcements, and then we're going to get into our game. First and foremost, of course, I want to have you look up above Jordan's head in the upper right hand corner where you will see our domain tomes. Domain tomes are, of course, a way that you, the viewers, can influence the game with subscriptions, with resubs, gifting subs, all that good stuff. You could tip $5. You could cheer 500 bits. All of those are in domain tomes. For one domain tome, a player can gain advantage. For 3 domain tomes, they can re-roll an unfavorable dice roll, or for 5 domain tomes, they can make me re-roll. One of the things they like to do is spend 4 domain tomes to re-roll with advantage. So they have those because of you, the viewers. So if you want to give them a little extra boost, that's how you do that. Looking down,
we very often need it. For the record.
We do, especially when Ricky rolls. But yes, because Ricky's dice are cursed.
Ricky adamantly refuses to use anything but the digital dice on D&D Beyond.
You're bound to start rolling good.
Hashtag send Ricky dice.
Yeah, for display purposes because he won't use them.
Yeah, I literally have 200 dice over there.
Oh my god!
I have steel dice, I have metal dice, I have custom dice.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, if we look over in the lower left-hand corner, down below Dwight, you'll see a couple of logos for our sponsors. First up, of course, is Talon and Claw. Excuse me, Talon and Claw. I'm getting all choked up over Talon and Claw over here.
It's an emotional subject.
They're really, really
great.
great.
It is. You can check out Talon and Claw's incredible Etsy store where you can get some pretty amazing wooden dice accessories, DM screens, dice vaults, laser engraved coasters, all kinds of cool stuff, including dice. Actually, you can get some cool dice over there. Check them out. Load up your shopping cart with all the goodies you want to get, and use code MTDClaw when you go to check out, and you will get a 10% discount on your order. Another one of our sponsors and partners is our friend Keel over at Run Right Play. You can check them out at their Patreon. Keel is fostering a community of collaboration. Absolutely incredible. And I do believe that Keel launched a Twitch channel of his own just recently. So you want to check that out as well. Yeah, Keel has it at his Patreon. You can get signed up to receive the digital or physical zine that he puts out every month, showcasing all of the wonderful projects that people in the community are working on. So be sure to check that out. Before I get into our mental health check-in, I want to do this at the top and at the bottom of the show. So Gary, I believe you have something you wanted to talk about real quick.
Yeah. So as you know, Crucian is a fantastic member of our community, and she's had a bit of a rough month. Her gaming PC died, and she's had some other stuff. So we are all trying to rally around her to give her a little bit of a boost by contributing to a coffee account that's going to allow her to get a gaming PC and bring her back to playing games with us and taking her mind off some of the shitty stuff that's happening. So thank you to everybody who has raised awareness and retweeted and liked that link. We totally understand that you can't always contribute financially, and that's totally cool. But liking and sharing is a significant help to us as we try and raise awareness for what she's going through, and to give her a little bit of a boost. So thank you to everybody who's contributed. I'll put the link in the chat if you haven't had the opportunity to share that. Please do. And thanks to everybody who's contributed so far.
I beat you to it. Links in the chat already.
Well, I was talking. Damn it.
Distracted. Unacceptable.
Yeah, Crucian filled in for me recently running an Evangeline game with the Sea of Thieves crew and our friends D20 and Neofet. And Crucian did an absolutely amazing job with that. So if you got a couple bucks to spare for a coffee, help somebody out. So real quick, before we get started here, as always, we just want to do a quick mental health check-in and just remind you and let you know that you matter. You make a difference in this world, whether or not you believe it. It's true, but it can be rough. Hey, I've had a rough couple weeks lately. Mental headspace hasn't been, as some dear friends like to say, the brain goblins have been running amok. But I've got therapy coming up tomorrow, so I've got that I'm looking forward to. And that was one of the best decisions I made, was reaching out and finding a therapist, finding somebody that I could talk to on a regular basis. And it's really helped me over the last couple of years to deal with my own depression and anxiety. So if you're like I was a couple of years ago and not sure where to turn to or where to go, you need some help, but you don't know exactly what to do, it's as simple as typing !help in our chat here. And you can do that any time of day or night. Doesn't matter if we're on air or not, streaming or not. Just come in here, type !help, and you'll get this URL for findahelpline.com. And it's a very simple interface. You just put in where you are located in the world and hit enter, and you will get a bunch of mental health resources, including websites, phone lines, chat lines, whatever, that can really help you out, figure out, depending on what it is you're dealing with, where you need to go to get started. So we encourage you to please take advantage of that. All right, I think it is time for us to play some Dungeons and Dragons. By way of recap, the gang has found the Amber Dunes, who they were looking for, that were the originators of the dastardly volumes that made their way to Candlekeep. Through some diplomatic discussions, they learned that the Amber Dunes did not intend for those volumes to end up in Candlekeep. They were creating these Gingwatsum copies of the book so that they could continue to sell the book as a high value rare book without actually selling the original. There's a little bit of magical counterfeit going on there. The reasoning was that they are a down on their luck pack of jackal wares whose leader was assassinated by a band of overzealous adventurers. And they are raising money to be able to buy the expensive components and expensive services of a healer to bring their beloved Nadalia back. They have said that they would give you the original copies of all 3 books that had turned into Gingwatsums at the library. But that put them in a bad spot as they suddenly found themselves without one of their primary means of raising money, as they are quite a ways away from having enough money. The gang said, "Hey, is there a way that we can help you out?" And they said, "Yeah, there's a warehouse nearby. It's run by some were-rats. Their leader, Mushika, hasn't been around for several days. So we're thinking, well, this place is unoccupied. Maybe you could just go check it out, clear the place for us, and we can resell their goods that they've been stealing from travelers, and we can use it to further our cause." The group realized that, one, they may have actually run into and ensured that this Mushika was not going to be coming back. They went to the warehouse, walked right into an ambush. Fortunately, Vorn's sharp goggled eyes were able to see the danger and mitigate it a little bit.
Was that the 20 perception Ricky rolled?
Yeah, it was one of, I believe, 2 20s that Ricky rolled. Very
It's
rare.
really-
Don't let him give you a hard time.
I don't
Ricky.
believe it.
Hey, we're all here. We all survived.
We
So,
sure did. You damn right we did.
Yeah, Teera almost didn't. Teera was knocked unconscious. And because she was knocked unconscious from a second-story loft, fell to the floor 15 feet below and automatically failed a death save. But due to Vorn's quick thinking and Doc's magical healing, Teera was revived. And they were able to eliminate the thugs, the human thugs, and chase the giant rats and one remaining were-rat down into their underground lair, where they finished them off. In this little secret chamber, they found a few extra special goodies, and decided to take a little something for themselves, a little arcane curiosities that are unique single-use magical items. And that's where we pick up exactly where we left off. All of you, the doors burst open. Vorn has a couple of crossbow bolts in him, where the quad crossbow launcher
I think we took care
shot
of
'em.
those almost.
Oh, did you
at
take care of those?
yeah,
Yeah,
Teera pulled them out. Remember?
Oh, that's
She
right, you
rolled, like,
did.
a really good.
You grabbed him, pulled him
Yeah,
out,
we
and you
took
managed to
care of
do so
'em.
without hurting him.
I rolled an amazing medicine check at disadvantage.
Yep.
At disadvantage. Crushed him.
So Vorn does not have those in him anymore. Mizya has most recently had cast the witch bolt on the were-rat, and Saria had rushed in to finish him off. So you've got this underground lair. You sort of found the box with these magical items. What do you want to do?
Real quick, my hit points. I'm around 4. Is that about right? Would you say? Do you remember?
Yeah, that would make
Okay.
sense. We took
All
a
right.
lot of damage.
Because I got like 3 cross bolts in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Okay.
was a lot.
I
of,
remember you having 4 or less, because when I asked you to roll a
Okay.
d4, you were worried that it was going to kill you, and I said it wasn't hit points, it wasn't damage. It
All
was
right,
to
so I'm
determine
gonna
the
sit-
elemental nature of your magic item.
So I'm gonna set my hit points down to 4.
Okay.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
I feel fine.
I think, and Teera is still like wiping blood as much of it off of her face as she can. She's a mess. It's like, I think we need to take some time and recollect ourselves before we hit the road. Who knows what we'll hit on the road?
On the road, Vorn, it feels like the way you feel when you get the wind knocked out of you, and you're just getting like your breath back.
Yeah.
That aching like emptiness from arrowheads punching through his leather armor and like getting hit with a sledgehammer full of force. And he's, yeah, we should really take a rest.
Maybe we can get these back, all this, at least some of this stuff back to the Amber Dunes, and I'll bet you they'd take us in for the night.
And
I wasn't that far away.
The Vorn goes and hawks like a big bulbous loogie into the corner of the wall from just coughing up.
You should see a doctor about that.
Shame we don't have one around. Teera's like adjusting, like her ribs hurt too, and like I think as far as we can get is the Amber Dunes tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a wise decision.
Teera's trying to find some crate of something that she can carry back.
Doc is going to walk over to Teera because she looks like she's struggling, and she's gonna grab a small piece of fruit off the top of one of the crates and say, "Here, why don't you carry this?"
Teera puffs up her chest a little bit. And she's like, "Oh, I might not be at 100%, but I can get a little bit more than that, Doc."
He grabs a second piece of fruit and puts it in her other hand.
I take both pieces of fruit and I'm like, "Thank you." And then I put them in the top of another crate that's not as big as Teera could normally carry, but is big enough for now.
The crates that are down here in this little layer part, there's just this smaller crate that has these arcane curiosities. And then there's a lockbox, a small locked chest. But all of the bigger crates of goods and stuff are the stuff upstairs, the various items that were in the warehouse. It's unlikely that unless you start breaking skids apart, you're going to be able to bring much more than what's in this room, this sort of smaller chest. And the lockbox, but you're confident that you eliminated the rest of the people that were occupying this place.
Doc would like to investigate the locked box and see if there's traps on it.
Sure.
Good note. This could
and,
kill Vorn.
And I would like to roll with advantage, please.
Attaboy.
Okay, so I don't remember what my investigation score is. 21.
All right, you were specifically looking to see if the lockbox was trapped.
Mm-hmm.
You give it a good close inspection, and you get it kind of hold it up to where you can see in the light, and sure enough, there is just below the lock, there is a small hole, and you can just make out the tip of a silver needle inside.
Okay, cool. Doc is going to attempt to disarm the trap, although he's going to
knock.
He's going to face away from Vorn, though. No, he's not going to knock this time.
You're not going to be polite to the lock?
And I got a 21 again.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes.
You are able to. The hole is small enough that you can't really get in there to disarm it per se, other than to jam one of the tools in there that will prevent the needle from shooting out when you try to open the lock.
Okay.
Doc, what you doing?
I am playing with my box.
And Teera starts eating one of the pieces of fruit and be like, "Whatever floats your boat." And then Teera's walking out of the room. I'm making my way back upstairs.
I don't have a boat. And now he would like to attempt to open the lockbox.
All right.
I would like to use another tome.
Nice. Way to be.
Would you believe that I once again got 21?
Yeah.
3 21s in a row.
Wow.
I rolled 15 and then 17 twice.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to, if you choose, start to pick the lock, turn and look at somebody without even looking at what you're doing and unlock the lock, no problem.
I look like I've done this before. Is there anything inside?
There is. You find inside 2 platinum coins.
Ooh.
You find 28 gold dragons,
Ooh.
as in the coins of specifically of Waterdeep. They're sort of a rectangular coin with 2 of the sides are curved inward, and they have a depiction of a dragon on the coin. So 2 platinum, 20. What did I say?
28.
8 gold dragons, 15 copper pieces.
Yeah.
And Doc, because you rolled so good on all of those rolls manipulating this lock and trap, I would like you to roll either a history or an insight check with advantage.
Oh, well, my insight is -1 and my history is +4. So I'm going to roll insight. I mean, just kidding. See, Ricky, this is why you roll physical dice, because I just rolled a 20 and that gets
He
24.
rolled a 20 to save our ass last time. Ricky, don't let him give you a hard time.
No, I agree completely.
It's okay. I'm unflappable, so it doesn't matter.
Bullying.
So what's your total in history then?
24.
You notice 2 things. One, the notable lack of any silver pieces.
Oh.
And the fact that the needle that was in the that was in the hole was made of silver. And you're not sure exactly how you remember this connection, but you know that there's a connection between silver and lycanthropes.
It's almost like they're connected. And then Doc is going to empty out the box, and he's going to sort of shake it just to see if there's anything, like any hidden compartments that he can detect, or
Smart.
Oh, you're going to shake
cookie.
it. So yeah, you pick it up and you shake it, and you do hear and feel something shaking in the bottom of the chest.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah. Gary is batting 1,000 tonight.
Dwight's back, so yeah, he's got to go all out.
Okay. I will open the secret compartment.
Nice.
How are you doing that?
With my hand.
Baby.
You don't see an obvious way to open the secret compartment.
Oh, well, I guess I will investigate. And he's going to look at Mizya, and he's going to say, Mizya,
Yes.
there's a secret compartment in this box, but I can't seem to find the opening. Would you take a look and give me a little bit of help?
Yes. And I'll walk over and just kind of run my hand along it and peek around.
So when Mizya says yes, Doc is going to say yes. And I would like to, may I have advantage for Mizya's assistance?
Sure.
Catchphrase advantage.
That's great.
So, would you believe that I rolled a 15 on my investigation check?
Yes.
So
Well,
that's
you're fire,
21.
on fire. Yeah, you're crushing it.
I think Mizya maybe like etches a nail on something in the side of the box. Yes, I think maybe right here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yay.
I
Okay.
look over at Teera and I'm like, does Mizya sound different suddenly?
I poke my head back into the room from where I am, and I'm like, yeah, it's weird. It's like their voice changed.
Yeah, like
Damn
they're
this
kind of
thing.
back to who they really are.
They do that.
Feel oddly rested. It's quite strange.
They've been very quiet the last 2 weeks or so. 2 days, 2 hours, whatever it's been.
Doc, you're able with Mizya's assistance to see where even seeing it takes you putting one of your thieves' tools into the seam along the edge that causes just one little piece of wood to shift enough that you can lift up this secret compartment. Inside is a small glass vial with a wax sealed cork in it. Inside this glass vial, there is no label on it, but you see a clear liquid. It seems, as you kind of move it around, it seems kind of thicker than water. And there are little specks of red flecks within it that it almost looks like clotted blood. As you kind of turn this thing around, it has the effect of almost like a lava lamp. You rotate it, and these red drops sort of coalesce and reform and float to what is now the top. You have no idea what this is.
I have no idea what this is.
Reminds me of university.
Yes.
Yes.
I quit. I quit.
Vorn's like, yes. Can we? Should we have the other folks come in and try to? Now that we've cleared the the warehouse, would it be useful just to send message to them to let them know that it's theirs for the taking? Do we have to haul all this back?
I don't think we can haul it all back if we wanted to, Vorn.
Yeah.
I think we take back what we can,
Mhm.
and then send them back for the rest. That's all we needed to do.
Yep.
And we took out the family of were rats. We've already done extra credit here.
Yeah. We kind of did vermicide to a whole genetic line. Sorry, not sorry.
Which, just as a reminder, there is a dead were rat at your feet in this room. There
He's
are
just dead there.
Well, he now looks like a dirty, disheveled human. He transformed back into his humanoid form when you killed him. There are a couple of dead giant rats out in the passageway leading to this room, and there's a couple of dead human men in the warehouse upstairs.
Disgusting.
Not a problem.
Agreed.
I say we grab what we can and head back tonight, because I need a nap desperately, and a bath.
Yeah, I'd say at this point it's probably about 1:30 in the morning. You guys all left a little after midnight, and by the time you scoped everything out, got in, raised chaos, investigated all this stuff, it's probably about 1:30 in the morning.
Right.
Right.
Are you ready then?
Well, let's go. Did everybody get everything?
Mhm.
All right. And I leave the room. I start going back upstairs.
Yeah, Vorn's holding his side, and behind Teera, it's like, Kind of feels like we're the, battering rams of the group, huh?
Yeah, no shit. I'm feeling that very, very definitively right now, Vaughn. And as Teera tries to start climbing the ladder, and it's like, ow, 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 every rung.
Vorn is saying, and Vorn says to Teera, like, but it doesn't hurt though. Like, it feels good though.
No, it's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the good kind of pain. Oh, oh.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Fine.
Orc mutterings.
Yes.
At the bottom of the ladder, Doc is going to look up at Teera and Vorn to say, "You're both taking quite a long time. Do you need any help?"
Shut up, Doc.
Good Doc. Good.
Oh, shutting up now.
Oh. Way to go.
Well, Cari feels bad. Teera probably doesn't feel much else other than her ribs right now.
When we get to the ladder, Asaria is going to pull the rope back out and do the little lasso harness for Soren. So she can pull him up. I've got more pocket bacon for you. She's like just looking at this pitiful wolf, and the oyster like.
I picture him like big old grin on his face, just looking around.
This is great. What's this? It's my favorite.
What? My tail? What?
He gets up to the top and he's like, "This is great. What's this? This is my favorite."
You make sure he's last up though, in case he decides he has to go to the bathroom. But yes,
Perfect.
Marking his territory.
Vorn says to Teera, like, I saw you took a pretty nasty fall and got hit in the face pretty hard with a mace, but do you think it hurts more than getting hit with a crossbow?
I don't know, Vaughn. I haven't been hit with a crossbow in a minute.
Yeah, sucks.
I bet it sucks. You can, you know what? I will just say you win this one, and we'll talk in the morning.
Yeah, and all this is being said in Orcish, by the way, and Vorn feels
100%.
Very validated because he kind of is trying to prove that he's orc enough.
I have a question. How is Vorn's Orcish? Is it broken? Has it been a while since he's spoken Orcish?
So Vorn's Orcish sounds like the way a black guy raids in the suburbs tries to talk around black urban people. If anyone gets that analogy. That's how Vorn's Orcish sounds. If that lands for anyone.
Yes. It's like yes, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a lot of code switching, but you can tell that he
I got it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm taking a moderately sized crate.
Okay.
And I've already eaten both pieces of fruit. Sorry, Doc.
Yeah, I think at this point there's no problem getting out. You're taking your time, and you're able to navigate your way back to the Amber Dunes house without incident.
When would be checking to make sure nobody's following, and there's not just another round of rats following.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay. Investigation.
Do you have dark vision?
I believe so. As half elf, I should be able to see.
Okay.
I think. Is low light vision a thing in 5e?
I don't know about low light, but I know dark vision.
No, there's dark vision, and then
dark vision and normal vision.
And then
just checking.
Yeah.
There's
there is dim light that does affect your ability to see as well.
No worries.
Yep, I have dark vision up to 60 feet.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and make a investigation check.
Okay, that is a 21.
Ooh, that's the magic number tonight.
Yeah,
It is.
19.
21.
Blackjack.
21.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so you're sort of watching everybody's back as you As you head back to the Amber Dunes place, you don't see anybody watching you. Nobody seems to be following you. The way is clear. When you get back to the house, you see from the shadows of the house, whoever's in the lead, you see, so Teera, as you're approaching the house, you see in the shadow near the door, you just suddenly see this glow, this amber glow, and then it sort of fades out. And in the glow, you see a face reflected. It's the face of Zan, the older one of the Amber Dunes that was humming quietly and sorting through books earlier. The one that Mizya was sort of hanging out with, and they were looking at the books while you were all
Does
talking.
it look like they're lighting a pipe?
That's exactly what they're doing. Is they've just lit a pipe, and you can actually smell the this sort of black cherry tobacco. I see you made it back, he says quietly to you.
Yeah, barely. Where should we set this stuff down?
You almost, it's not very loud at all, as he just takes one hand and he kind of does a quick staccato rapping on the door that has a slight pattern to it. And after a moment, the door opens and Rama and Theron come out to see what's going on, and they see you standing there, and without even having to be told, they take the crate from you.
Awesome.
It does take both of them to grab the crate that you were carrying by yourself, but they do bring it inside, and the door opens. Or rather, Zan holds the door open so that all of you can enter as well. Once back inside the homestead, you see Roman and Theron setting the crate down. Zan closes the door, but stays outside smoking his pipe. And Korvala is sitting there, and she has on the table in front of her, there's you see a couple of teacups and tea kettle, as she suddenly stands up. You made it back. I see. Not without incident. You appear to have run into trouble.
Yeah, quite a bit. Doc, you are the chronicler of our little party here. You want to tell the story? You can... Oh, no. Doc, you don't have to shut up forever. I'm sorry I said that to you. You can... What, Doc?
Okay.
Oh.
Doc, would you mind regaling us with the story of tonight's adventure?
Please roll for crawling.
Okay. So we got to the warehouse, WERE house, and we knocked on the door. Well, no, I didn't knock on the door. I tried to knock on the door, and then Asaria grabbed my hand. And then I tried to kick the door, and then Asaria grabbed my foot. It was all very awkward. And then we burst into the room, and there were were-rats there. And I don't know what happened on the top. All I know is Teera fell from the top to the bottom. And then there was a room, and inside the room, there was a rat. And I said, no. And then I closed the door. And then the guy on the top fell down onto the bottom. And then we went into the were-rat's place. And then the rat ran downstairs. And then we went downstairs. And then Soren the wolf went downstairs, and his little paws were going like this. And then we went down the ladder, and there was a were rat, and he shot Vorn with 4 crossbows all at once. If he wasn't mean, it would have been impressive. And then Mizya went, yes, yes. And then I found a secret compartment in a chest. And then Teera told me to shut up. And I haven't said anything since then. And now we're here. Which I think you know, because you can see us with your
But
eyes.
sounds like quite the excursion. So, does that mean you've cleared the warehouse?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Welcome back, Dwight.
Asteria's shaking her head. Probably hear
Yes.
Soren whining.
As you all confirm, very affirmatively, that the warehouse is cleared, Korvala just looks at Rama and Theron, and they give a nod, and without a word, they take off out the door.
Ooh. And slowly we hear 2 footsteps become 4. Badass.
That's awesome.
Well, I cannot thank you enough. If there's enough stuff in there, it sounds like the warehouse contains enough goods that it'll take us a little bit of time. But we should be able to sell everything off, and we're even closer without having to create. And she kind of sheepishly looks in Mizya's direction. More King Watson. I cannot thank you enough. You are welcome to stay here as long as you need to rest up and recover.
I'm only gonna need 1 or 2 days, but I do want the mug club.
The Mug Club. I ask her if do you guys have, like, can we take a bath here? I'm pretty and I just kind of gesture down at my everything on me is like stained with blood, including my face. I would really like to take care of this before I go to sleep.
Unfortunately, we don't have anything in the way of a bath here. There are bathhouses within the city, but you would have to wait till morning. We won't be able to make it through the Black Gate.
All right.
Can you get a
Right.
pot of boiling water at least? Take a rag and some water. That'd be good enough.
Yeah,
In the other room, you will find a basin.
better than nothing. Thank you. I mean,
I walk over to Teera and I just kind of like wave my hand in front of her soiled just garments, and I cast prestidigitation and I'll just kind of clean the garments.
oh. Oh,
It takes about a minute or two to fully prestidigitate everything, but you are able to do so as she's just quietly standing there in front of you.
I would imagine Teera be like, "What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing?"
And
Missy, what you-
I wait until I'm completely finished because I'm concentrating the whole
I'm
time.
looking nervously at
The-
Vorn and
Yes.
and
Yes, that will do. It's no bath, but hopefully that will clean you up nicely, and then you'll be able to sleep, and we can all go about our rest of our evening.
holy
And I
shit.
just turn and walk away.
Thank you, Mizya. It's a hell of a
Just
trick.
kind of wave.
Warren's armor smells like football shoulder pads after a long day of practice. He unsnaps the leather buckles and kind of takes it off and kind of plops it down on the ground, and it has like a little heft to it as it hits the ground. And he's like, "Where's that basin at?" And he's looking at his wounds, and they're still open. He wants to treat it with some hot water.
Mm,
and
mhm.
kind of clear up if you can.
Doc is going to look at Vorn, and he's gonna grab some moss out of his satchel. He's gonna put it in his mouth. He's gonna chew it up. He's gonna grab a part of black powder. He's gonna put it on the moss. He's gonna smush it all together, and he's gonna rub it on Vorn's cheek. And he's gonna say, "Vorn, did you know that some of the stuff on the outside is supposed to be on your inside?" And Vorn can heal 10. 10 gets 10 hit points back.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice
Spectacular.
One of the other Jackalware, Marliza, who she's younger. She has long braids. She's very small, only about 5'2". And you almost didn't notice she was sitting in the corner reading a book. And she just kind of comes over to you, Vorn. I can help you. It's this way.
Thank
and
you.
she leads
Thank
you
you.
into the other room where you see in this other room there are many beds and cots. This seems to be sort of a communal bedroom. And there's a couple of wash basins and
She's gonna help you, Vorn. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Is Ricky blushing?
Ricky is restraining because his daughter's in the room next to him.
As Ricky and Marliza, or as Vorn and Marliza, as Vorn, Marliza, and apparently Ricky walk into the back room, fade to black.
Spicy.
In case I never mentioned it, one of my lines in Veils is rat sex.
They're not rats.
I didn't
she's
think
a
it would come
jackal.
up. But
They're not rats.
Jackal.
They're
They're
jackals.
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 Oh,
Still,
we're good.
jackal.
That's fine.
Also.
Oh,
That's fine.
then
Totally
car-
fine.
then carry on.
Carry on. Yeah, 100%.
He has a very strict no lycanthrope tropes.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
my cheeks are gonna explode like a balloon here.
You're great. Take a drink, Ricky.
Yeah,
So
put those goggles back down.
Yeah, that's gonna help. Oh, silly.
These are my business time goggles.
Well, hold on. Yeah, Vorn does like dash out of the room real quick and fumbles through one of his buckles, and he's like, "Oh."
Teera just gives him a thumbs up.
Spikes. Yeah, yes. No. Yeah, these ones, and he puts these ones on.
You actually have multiple pairs of. Oh my god!
Yeah,
I thought that was all. This whole time, I've thought that was all one pair.
No, I have
That's
three different pairs I switch between. Yeah, so Vorn, and then he dashes back into the room and closes the big door, and then you hear like a sudden latch, like chunk.
I've been really trying.
Assyria, what does
What?
ka-chunk mean?
I don't know. It's not a term I'm super familiar with.
Oh, that's what it sounded like from the other room. I thought you might know. We'll have to
At
ask
least-
Warren.
At least on Elvish, I'm not familiar with it.
Hmm.
Elvish, Celestial, Common, Abyssal, nope. Nothing I know of.
Okay.
Must be a half orc or orc thing. I don't know. Assyria's literally, as everyone's been kind of doing their thing, she's just checking Soren to make sure there's no cuts or anything on him, making sure there's no ticks or fleas. God
No
forbid
E.
the
coli
fleas.
from the sewers.
Yeah, no evil from the sewers. And just giving him little treats and just taking care of him. She literally looks pretty wrecked herself, but she looks pretty unconcerned. Her main focus is on Soren and just making sure he's okay.
Aw.
All right. Anybody else doing anything in particular over the night?
I realize we're
I drink
staying
a
in
little bit
this.
and then go to sleep.
Yeah, I realize we're staying in this house, but do we still want to set up some kind of watch or something?
No.
No?
Corvala,
As Asaria is meekly suggesting that, Tira's like, no, and goes in.
Corvala assures you that her and her people have the house covered. It's a secure place. You have nothing to worry about.
Alright.
So, as everybody heads to sleep, you can all go ahead and take a long rest.
Yay!
Asaria.
Yay for
Yes.
naps.
Asaria.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh no!
I sense a dream coming on.
I do too. I don't like it, but I do. Yes. Yes, yes.
Somewhere in the middle of the night, the house has grown very quiet. There's occasional sounds outside that carry in, but it's once it gets past 3 a.m., those sounds get quieter and quieter. There's a few sounds of the house itself, just the usual sounds of a floorboard creaking, probably the snoring of others, as there are now several people sleeping in this house. You have drifted off in one of the beds with Soren at your side. And you feel in your sleep a shift. You're now asleep in the back of the den where the chill air of the early spring doesn't penetrate. Next to you, you can feel the warm, rhythmic breathing of Soren, who is sound asleep. All around you, you can hear the gentle snores of the rest of the pack, also sleeping. The dim light of late morning barely reaches into the den, revealing only shadows blending into shadows. Make a perception check for me.
Okay. I literally have goosebumps, by the way. Not the best roll. That's a 10. Actually, I'm sorry. That's a 9, so that's actually 13.
Something wakes you up. A sound, subtle and quiet. Just enough for you to notice it, but not enough to awaken the wolves around you. There it is again. The soft sound of a footfall. Though not that of a wolf. Something bigger. Humanoid. Make me another perception check with advantage.
Okay. $23.
You can just make out the outline of a figure standing over you. They wear a cloak with a hood drawn up over their head. And even with your ability to see in the dark, their face is lost in shadow. They reach a hand out to you, palm facing upward. It's a gentle motion, as if offering for you to take their hand. Do you?
Sorry, this is Jordan fighting, but also Asaria. So I'm literally having a mini battle in my brain right now.
Asaria hesitates.
Yeah, Asaria would hesitate. Yeah.
The hand doesn't drop, and instead, the fingers curl until just one finger sort of pointing at you, and it just gestures.
Oof.
And then they motion as they turn.
I'll follow.
You walk quietly through the den, carefully stepping over the still sleeping forms of the wolf pack. none of them awaken, and none of them take notice of the figure, as they also step carefully around the other wolves. You step through the opening of the den into the forest. The cold light of the spring morning filtering through the boughs of the pine trees all around you. A few small patches of snow persist in the shadows where the sun does not touch them. You see your breath curl out in white plumes in front of you. Next to you, a cloaked figure who is about a foot taller than you raises a hand and gestures at the nearby edge of the forest. Do you look at where they're pointing?
I do.
You can just make out the shape of a familiar-looking house in the clearing. Wood smoke curling up from the chimney. You see in front of the house a man, his long hair tied back to keep it out of the way. His sleeves are rolled up to the elbows despite the cold weather. You watch as he raises an axe above his head and brings it down sharply, splitting the log before him easily. Even from this distance, you can see the steam rising from his body. He's been out here chopping wood for a while. He looks up suddenly at the sound of a woman's voice calling out in sing-song, "Melchior!" And then in Elven, the woman's voice says, "I have made you some lunch, my love. The children and I are taking a break from studies. Come, sit with us by the hearth." With a final, firm swing, he drives the axe into the thick stump at his feet, picks up an armful of freshly split logs, and heads inside. In a blink, it is suddenly night. We see you, Assyria, with the entrance to the wolf den behind you. The air is still and freezing as you stare into the distance. Snow is falling all around you and begins to collect, unmelting in your hair and upon your shoulders. It's not snow. It's ash. Pinpoints of orange light flicker and dance in your eyes, reflecting the flames that you are staring at. The secluded house in the clearing in the woods is ablaze. The fire roars loudly and hungrily devours the house, loudly snapping and popping its thick oaken bones and spilling a dark, angry smoke upward into the night sky. The cloaked figure standing next to you lifts a hand once again and gestures to the left of where the house is. You see there a humanoid figure standing alone outside the house watching it burn. The flames outline their form, and the smoke obscures them, making it nearly impossible to identify them from here. What do you do?
Saria will kind of brace herself for a moment and then try to move forward.
As soon as you take a
See if she
step,
can get a-
you hear behind you a deep growling. You turn around and you see the entire wolf pack standing behind you, having emerged from the den. Soren steps towards you, presses into your side. All at once, the pack lunges forward. And you jolt awake. It's morning. Light is filtering in through the shuttered windows. You can smell coffee, bacon, other things being cooked. Others in your party are probably still asleep. I imagine Vorn and Assyria are asleep, or excuse me, Teera are asleep.
Yeah.
Mizya, it would depend on when you chose to go into your trance, whether you were awake now or not. And I'm not sure where Doc is exactly. Somewhere nearby, staring.
Some much needed levity from Doc. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
But in these moments, Assyria, as you've just woken up, what do?
Sarah will kind of wipe any sweat that she probably has on her head away.
It's a cold sweat.
Yeah.
And as you bring your hand up, you smell wood smoke.
Oh.
Oh. She both looks slightly nostalgic for a moment, thinking of like wood in the fireplace before it snaps to the most recent dream. She'll gently tap Soren, not waking him up, just kind of reassuring herself and probably slightly reassuring him, as he's probably picked up on a couple of things, but he's also exhausted from the day before. She's going to kind of very, very carefully try and maneuver out of the bed and head downstairs.
This is all one level, so you're basically just in the other, in the other room. Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry. So she will head into the other room kind of quietly, trying to not wake everybody up. Just for the moment, kind of forgetting exactly where she's at, but still like at the same time somewhat familiar and remembering where things were from the night before.
I would say, again, Doc and Mizya, it's up to you if you're actively asleep, if you have any reaction to Assyria's, whether you saw this or if you're, where are you, I guess? I mean, Doc, you've sort of said you're just sort of, but
Doc is fully conscious. When
yeah,
he's
as I
doing
understand it, you're fully conscious and you can see and hear everything.
Yep.
And Mizya,
Doc would just be if he noticed, he wouldn't say anything.
okay.
Yeah, I think Mizya is still in their trance, having stayed up studying with Gerald for a while after we got back in.
Mm-hmm. Gerald. Oh my God.
Assyria.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Okay. 3.
Marliza, the petite woman with the braids that assisted Vorn the night before and you strangely didn't see for a while. She is in the kitchen, and she has brewed up tea and coffee and is seems to be just cooking up a couple things. It's not any huge fare. She doesn't notice you. The kitchen is off of the room that you're in.
Mm-hmm. Taking a moment, she'll like step forward and then kind of shake her head, muttering "Fuck," underneath her breath as she'll kind of knock on the door frame as she kind of pops in, not wanting to startle.
Oh, you're awake.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a early riser, I guess you could say. Do you need anything? I need kind of busy work. Can I help?
Sure, yeah. And she'll just begin to sort of move aside and point you at. It's very easy to see what she's doing. You know, there's some breads. It actually looks like somebody made a run to the
Autumn's breads.
to Autumn's breads. There's a box with Autumn's breads on it. And
Oh, are there fritters? Are there bake eggs?
oh yeah,
Oh,
Yes.
Wonderful.
there's a selection of fake cakes. Some of them have already been taken. And there's also some Brampton buns that are set aside, cut into slices, and jam drops.
Everything looks delicious. Can I ask you something?
Certainly.
Are you familiar with, I guess, and I apologize if this is offensive, but do you view what you are as a curse or is it a blessing?
She looks at you for a moment, trying to suss out exactly what you're talking about. How do you mean? As a bookseller?
I guess that is a blessing and a curse in its own way. No, the idea that you can take on another form. Can you recognize that in other?
Oh, you mean about the fact that we're Chackowares?
Yes.
There was a time not long ago, if you had asked me that question, I would absolutely have called it a curse. But not now. It is a blessing. Our life is by no means easy, but we have each other. We rely upon each other. And as tragic as the loss of Nadalia has been, and it has been hard for us, I think it's brought us all closer together as a pack. Especially, it wasn't just Nadalia that we lost. We were nearly twice as many before the adventurers showed up. So yeah, all that grief brought us closer together in a way that it's hard to understand if you're not like us.
Right.
There's a sort of a freedom in it, I guess. And it takes time to learn how to control the primal urges that come once a month.
Understandable. Are you able to recognize it in other people?
Sometimes, yes, it's the hybrid form of our nature that allows us to have a heightened sense of smell. We can smell when others have that. If you pass by, it's how we knew, for instance, that Mushika and his band were were-rats. You pass by him incidentally in the marketplace, and you catch a smell that's not man, no matter how dirty. No man can smell that much like a rat without being a rat. You learn to recognize it in others. And there are more than jackals and rats. They call us lycanthropes. I've heard in some places there are even people that turn into bears.
Heard those stories before.
It's said that there are birds and bears, wolves even, the jackals and the rats. Who knows what else is out there?
You see her kind of struggling for a moment.
She reaches a hand out and just gently places it on your hand. Are you okay?
Bad dream. And trying to piece things together, I guess.
You hear
And just
at the,
natural
as you say that, Assyria, you hear from the door frame leading into the kitchen, you hear Corvala's voice. She says, I wouldn't simply dismiss a dream as just a dream, bad or otherwise. Dreams hold sometimes more truths in them than we're willing to admit. She walks into the kitchen and pours herself a cup of coffee. Is everything okay here?
Everything's fine. Just curious. Being a ranger and all, I'm always wanting to know about different things. And I guess, in spite of myself, I find myself getting close to my companions. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to be of harm of them. Just trying to figure out the next step.
You should be careful when talking to others about particular quirks of their nature.
Right.
Not everyone is so forthcoming with the details. And she seems to just sort of give a sidelong look at Marliza.
I meant no offense.
No offense is taken. Marliza is... She's very new. And Marliza has sort of sheepishly gone back to kind of cutting up some bread and placing some of the Autumn's breads, D&D donuts on a plate, and
Continental breakfasts.
yeah.
Here at the warehouse.
As Corvala says, please do not mistake my firm tone as admonishing, though. Why the curiosity?
She'll kind of look over. Perhaps if we step into a side room. Don't necessarily want one of my comrades coming down yet. Especially if it's not an answer I'm ready to hear.
Certainly. Come with me. And she pours another cup of coffee and hands it to you. And motions for you to follow her and leads you through a couple of rooms into a small office in the back of the house. And yeah, she leads you into this back office and motions for you to sit in a chair. There's most of the room is taken up by this large desk. A few books. There's a couple of decorative swords hanging on the wall behind her, crossed. There's a bed in here. You get the sense that she may sleep in here as well, but she motions for you to take a seat. No one will disturb us here.
You see Assyria looking over at the door for a moment. She'll put her coffee down. And then almost with shaking figures, she'll move a bit of her armor and the tabard. And on the left side of her chest, there's this black mark that almost looks like the image of like a bird sailing away, or flying away rather. That's etched into her skin. It's pretty large. I don't know what this is.
She reaches into a side to the side of the desk and pulls open the drawer and reaches in and pulls out a magnifying glass. Do you mind if I take a closer look?
Go for it.
And she takes a candle that's lit and kind of holds it up, and with her other hand she's looking with the magnifying glass. This is very curious indeed. It seems to be... And suddenly she goes... and she almost drops the candle. She takes a step back. Her eyes are wide as she looks at you.
Quickly cover up.
She takes a moment, sets the candle and the magnifying glass down. I beg your pardon for my shocked reaction. I mean no offense. How did you come by this mark?
I don't know.
How long ago did you receive this mark?
It's been a few years, probably 5 at this point.
Years.
Yes.
You have borne this mark upon yourself for years.
I thought it was a bruise. I didn't think anything of it.
You thought something of it worthy of note to show me.
Oh.
You do not know where that came from.
No.
You do not know how you got it. You do not know
Last thing.
who gave it to you.
No. Just the figure, but that's about it. I was making my way home from a hunting trip. I took too long. I knew my mother and father would be mad. Next thing I know, I'm waking up in the snow. Alone, with nothing but this mark.
The mark that you bear on your chest now. It is called a sire's mark. It can only be placed there by a sire of a lycanthrope pack. It is a mark that a sire will use when somebody has been... So it is a way of marking somebody as belonging to them. It is an egregious violation of a code amongst lycanthropes. It is an unspoken rule, but one that exists nonetheless. That no lycanthrope would turn one who is marked by a sire's mark without dire consequences. I would highly recommend that you do not show this mark to anyone else, unless you trust them implicitly.
Why do I do otherwise?
I do not recognize this mark, only that it is a sire's mark. This means a very powerful lycanthrope has marked you as their property. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Holy shit.
No!
Oh.
Oh my god!
Uh-oh.
Doc, I would like you to make a perception check at disadvantage.
You heard all of this?
He's standing at the door waiting to knock.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Excuse me, where's your coffee?
He's been knocking this whole time. It's just so timid because of his loss of confidence.
Did you say a perception check at disadvantage?
I did.
0.
Aw.
Okay. I figured at this point, Doc was the only one that had a chance of potentially overhearing any of this. Doc did not. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break since last week we went through the entire session without taking a break, and
Yeah.
I really have to pee. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick 10-minute break. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us. Please stick around. We'll be back in just a few minutes. And we're back. Syria just got some pretty heavy information.
Wow. Oh God. Secrets are no fun.
So, do you have follow-up questions to that? To her?
I'm sure she does.
I know. We just did a cut for break, so I don't want to deprive you of the opportunity to continue to talk.
I think so. Kind of looking at how concerned she is. What do I do, and what does this mean exactly? Am I going to turn? What do I do?
It's the fact that you said you've had it for years that has me confused. In every case that I have seen a Sire's Mark in the past, the individual that was marked turned at the next full moon, and the Sire's Mark is what drew them to their sire. But you've had this for years. That's many, many moons. I have to admit, I do not know what this means. I can tell you that it's going to be more than just a passing lycanthrope. For instance, I have been a werejackal for many years. I could not bestow a Sire's Mark upon an individual. It is very old and very powerful lycanthropes that have this magic at their disposal.
Okay. No pressure.
I'm sorry I can't answer you more clearly or tell you more concisely.
No, you.
All I can tell
offered.
you is to be careful.
I'll try. I appreciate your insight and obviously ask that you use discretion as well.
I can assure you that I will speak of this to no one.
Thank you.
You would be wise to do the same.
Correct. Thank you. And at this point, Asera is probably taking a very long swig of her coffee.
So outside of this, I would say that everybody else, eventually you all start waking naturally. Does anybody else have anybody they want to talk to? Any questions? Teera?
As Teera wakes up and gets kind of ready for the day, she wants to go and figure out where we're sleeping. Is it all like one big room, or are there separate rooms or cubbies, or what's the situation?
This is sort of a communal sleep space where it seems to be where most of the werejackals normally would sleep. Some of them seem to have found other arrangements, possibly out in the living room, in the chairs or whatever, leaving the beds to all of you.
Okay. So as I kind of wake up, is Mizya, Doc, are they still in the room?
Mizya, Doc says yes.
Yeah, Mizya's probably just starting to stir in the corner at this
Okay.
point. So
Okay. So I kind of want to like go over to Vorn and sort of unceremoniously like kind of bump his bed. I don't kick it, but I like bump it hard enough to wake him up. Like, Vorn, wake up.
Teera.
Yeah, you got your
Oh.
morning goggles on.
Yeah. And he sees like his little mark is showing on his forehead, and he's,
Hmm.
oh, Teera, what's going on? But just
Yeah.
danger afoot.
No, no danger.
Oh, okay.
Come with me for a second, though. I gotta talk to you.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of want to just try to find if it means going outside of the the WERE house. We do, or just find like a quiet corner where nobody can really overhear what we're talking about. I don't really understand the layout.
Yeah,
of
I
this
think
place.
you'd have to go outside to get any kind of
Okay.
privacy. You can
Okay.
hear, I mean, the area outside is fully awake. People are out moving about. So there's the normal hubbub of a day.
Okay.
You could step outside and easily not be
Teera-
overheard.
Teera
And-
would have gotten a couple of cups of coffee, and as we walk out, she hands one to Vorn.
And as we're walking, Vorn is like, I meant nothing by the remark. I know you're very strong and very tough, and in fact, probably stronger and tougher than
Vorn,
I
if you
am.
did, Vorn, if you didn't give me a little shit, you wouldn't be an orc-blooded person. I get it.
Yeah. How's your
You
jaw
think-
feeling, by the way?
Better, not great, but better. It feels like I got hit in the jaw with a mace last
Yeah,
night, so
that's about right.
par for the course.
About right.
So Vaughn,
Yeah.
it's starting to look like I'm stuck with this group for a while. Got a couple of life debts to pay off now. I got to know what that is, and I point at his forehead, and like these others don't know, but people don't get those for stealing candy.
No, they don't. So my mother's husbands, my brothers and sisters, they did this to me. Well, I guess you can say the tribe did it to me. On behalf of the tribe, I earned this one. Yeah. That's all right.
No judgment either way, Vaughn, but why? How did you earn that?
I don't know about your tribe. Did your tribe ever heard of the Sandan Vuk?
Has my I
Do you
guess
guys do the Sandan Vuk?
probably. Yeah.
Well-
I heard of it.
Yeah. So the way we determine our chieftains is it's in combat. My mom, Vornusha, chief of the tribe, I was chosen for combat because I was the firstborn.
Lucky you.
Lucky me. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't finish her. I wouldn't kill her in combat. So, competing family, upon my failure, challenged Vernusha to the Sandan Vuk for head of the tribe. And they finished her. And because of that disgrace, my brothers and sisters held me down and branded me as such. And that's why we're here. That's why that's there.
Vaughn, I'm sorry.
No, it's nothing to be sorry about. You know, us orcs have a way of things, and sometimes some of us don't agree with those way of things.
Yeah. And Teera comes like this close to saying like, yes, we do, but she realizing that she's she's a human. Like she can't really understand this whole, like she grew up in it, but she can't fully sympathize either. And she just shakes her head and is like, well,
Yeah.
I guess I should just start calling you Prince Vaughn then, huh?
Not quite. If you knew my father, that guy. Anyway.
Your father's still alive.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the important folks in one of the human kingdoms. So Yeah, but yeah, it turns out so my tribe, the axe in which the chief bears is it has other properties, and it kind of takes the soul of the holder. And I wasn't prepared to give my mother's soul to that axe, but unfortunately, that was out of my control. So
Oh, your brother's still alive. Your siblings.
yeah, if they've acknowledged me as such, human or orc.
Do you want to get back there and discuss it with them?
My tribe, my clan.
Yeah, mainly your siblings. And
I
Teera
wanna-
cracks her knuckles for effect.
The orc side of me does, but the orc side also wants to free them from the curse of the axe.
Mm.
They don't even know they're under it. By the way, my dad, Pops got me these. Helps me see better.
Yeah, well, they're doing a great job of helping you see. That's for sure. And Teera like rubs her chin. Like, thanks for letting me know about all the shit above my head.
Hey, and does the kind of orc symbol for we're down for down forever kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And I do the same, and I'm like, if it ever, and I'm kind of turning to head back inside. And I'm like, if it ever comes up, if we ever get up north your way, we'll figure it out before we come back south. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I reach my hand out and I go, brothers and sisters in blood.
I say brothers and sisters in blood.
Yeah, and do like
I
the
go,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You
/
damn right,
Predator. Yeah,
pushing pencils.
Yeah, hell yeah. Ah.
Oh yeah, hell
Here
yeah.
are you, son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, Lord.
Teera,
Badass.
Teera, roll me an insight check.
Okay. So bad. It's a 3.
Okay, never mind.
Oh,
I did send you the Sadan Vok
Sadan Volk.
name.
Okay.
That's a little piece of lore that.
Can I use an inspiration point to reroll? I have 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sick. And I would like to use 1 tome to roll with advantage, please.
Wow.
Look at you gaming the system.
Haha! No, I earned that inspiration point. Thank you very much. It's a little better. It's a 13.
That's enough. Everything that Vorn told you, you're familiar with the mark of shame in the orc tribes, and you're even familiar with the Sadan Vok, the combat rite of passage.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something that Vorn said that you weren't familiar with. It doesn't jive with how you know of the Sadan Vok. As you're familiar with it, it's a rite of passage to determine who the leader of the tribe will be. But Vorn mentioned something about an axe that sucks souls. That's not normal.
Okay. Teera makes a mental note of that, but doesn't say it to Vorn.
Okay.
It's already been a pretty intense couple of hours here, so I don't want to overload him.
World building.
Backstory in the last 24. So I it does concern Teera a little bit, knowing that this is odd and it sounds scary as hell, but she doesn't say anything. Just goes in and tries to enjoy her coffee and her apple fritter like a normal person. Continental breakfast here at the warehouse.
Mizya, what are you doing?
Missy doesn't really need to do much for mornings. I don't eat a whole lot anymore. So again, I think as things are starting to move around me, I picked up my books and and kind of just rifling through them, just kind of waiting for something to happen. So there's just a lot of milling about, but not a lot of movement.
For some reason, I see Mizya with one of those tiny little espresso cups, and Mizya's the one that goes into the break room and cuts a donut in half.
Oh,
I'm that person. I'm that person in real life.
No, say it's not so.
100%.
Okay.
Because I have a friend who's the other person that eats the other half.
I was gonna
We have a
ask if you were the.
partnership.
That's fair.
I was gonna ask if you were the person that went in and cut it in half, and then went back later
And
for the
just-
other half.
Hell no.
No,
Hell
no.
okay, acceptable.
Okay,
That's acceptable then. Okay.
so but I see
Yeah,
Miz.
I think as these scenes have happened this morning too, Mizya just kind of like floats through the background of each of them at some point.
I was gonna say I see this sort
Any
of.
version of this, we just see Mizya walking by and be like,
I was gonna say I see this sort of like one of those
Judging.
where Mizya is just sitting there reading and sipping the espresso. Everything's happening really fast around, but in each of these scenes, like if you went back, if you rewind it, as Asaria and Corvala are talking, Mizya just walks by the window outside.
Yeah.
Mizya comes into the kitchen and is like, nope.
What about you, Doc? What are you doing as everybody's waking up around you?
So everybody's sort of left, and Doc is looking around, and he only sees Mizya. So he's gonna walk over to Mizya, and he's gonna sit on the bed across from them. And he's gonna look at Mizya for a moment, and looks very unsure about what he wants to say, almost as though he's confused. And he's gonna say, Mizya,
Yes, Doctor.
what does it feel like when you die?
Oh. Well, I can't say from firsthand experience. I mean, some might joke that I could, but as old as I am, I have not died yet.
Hmm.
I've read quite a bit about it, though. There are some that say you see a bright light, others that say that your life flashes before your eyes. Some say that you feel embraced like a warm bath, but as close as I've come, I couldn't say exactly. Why do you ask, Doctor?
When we were at the bakery, I saw something, but it wasn't there. At least I don't think it was, because nobody else saw it. At least they didn't say they saw it. I was standing beside someone. It looked to be a little girl, but I'd never seen her before. She was holding a flower in her right hand, and in her left hand, she was holding my hand. And she looked up at me and she smiled. And then slowly, I lost sight of her, even though I was holding her hand. And gradually, all I saw was darkness. And it felt as though my whole body went cold. Like something, I don't know what, was pushing down on me, forcing all of my life out from the center of my chest. I don't know what it means, but it felt like I was dying.
Oh my, that does sound quite horrible. I've not read of that experience before, but certainly doesn't sound pleasant. This girl, did you recognize her?
No, I've never seen her before. All I know is that she was holding my hand and she was very small and she had a flower in her hand, her other hand, not in the same hand that was holding my hand. although it's possible, it would make for a very awkward handhold.
Yes. Yes. Well, did you hear or smell anything else? I mean, any other senses that you can remember?
No. I only smelled the flower. But it didn't
Oh.
smell like any flower that I'd ever smelled before.
What did it smell like, Doctor?
It smelled warm and comforting. Almost like home.
Doctor, do you remember anything from before you woke up?
Before I woke up, became what?
Before you, I don't know how. Were you born? Did you just wake up one day as yourself?
Yes.
Right. Well, I will have to think of a better way to ask that question at a later time. I'll just kind of reach over and I'll pat a Doc on his hand. I'm glad that you're not dead, Doctor. I'm glad that you're here with us. And well, how about if this happens again, you come talk to me and we'll talk through it and we'll see if we can maybe find out what's causing this. It didn't seem to have hurt, so.
I mean, beyond the uncontrollable feeling of descending into a void from which there's no escape, no, it didn't hurt at all.
Yes, but I mean, you don't still feel that, right?
No.
That's good. See, an improvement. Let's focus on that then. I promise I will dive into my books and see if I can find anything that might explain this situation. But if it does happen again, let me know. And I kind of reach over and I pat his hand again, and I am glad that you're still here with us, Doctor.
He's gonna say thank you, and then he's
Yes.
gonna get up and he's gonna leave the room, and he's gonna be sort of looking at his hands, and then looking back at Mizya, and then looking back at his hands, and then he'll leave the room.
Oh.
So,
Mizya just sips on her jaw.
Wow.
question. The 2 platinum, 28 gold, and 15 copper. Did you all keep that?
Yes,
Okay. Is somebody keeping track of your party loot?
I wrote it in the chat.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Because
Thank you,
I'm
Jordan.
not going to keep track of that.
Yep, I've got it.
I was pretty confident Jordan was handling that.
Yep, I got party funds.
Lovely.
Writing it in the chat is the best I'm willing to do.
I'm a
That's fair
math
enough.
teacher. I don't need any more numbers in my life. I come here to escape. Thank you very much.
I
got it.
have been the party treasurer for our home game for like 8 years. As a DM, I'm not keeping track of your loot.
No.
Great.
Nope, that's fair. Nope, I've got
No,
it.
I just needed to know if you gave it to the Jackal Wares or if you kept it for yourself.
You should give it to the Jackal
Yeah.
Wares, guys. We're gonna get paid when we get back to Candlekeep.
Yep.
If
That's
I wasn't trying to guilt you into giving it to them. That
No,
I just wanted
sorry.
to know.
It was already on
And
Asteria's
yet
mind.
you did.
It was already on Asteria's mind.
I'm good
knowing-
with giving it to him.
Yeah, she
Just-
was gonna bring it up to the group.
But I mean, that's
first
you're
before-
basically giving them another 50 gold on top of everything else. That puts them that much closer.
Well, they've been very helpful.
Who has the mysterious vial?
I do.
Okay, make sure you mark that
Definitely
down in
a doc
your
thing.
inventory.
Mysterious vial.
And I just want like just when I come in town, like like the mug club. That's all.
Yeah, we gotta swing by and see if what's his face made the mug club.
Yeah.
We got to get our complimentary mugs.
You've been in town for what, 24 hours? I don't
Yep.
know.
Listen,
We
he
can
fucked
flush it.
Lasting
something up.
impression.
Carve our initials in it. That's good.
Yes, etch them in there. Just
Yeah.
it's like here's your first one.
Stories.
All right.
Awesome.
So, as you prepare to head out of town, you head back to the Wide, and before you get your horses and your cart, you take a swing by Heath's Hot and Cool Drinks.
Yeah.
And as you're approaching, Heathkin Velgir, the older human man who had spoken to, he has his head down. He's sort of seated behind where the stall is there, and he's kind of doing something, and he just kind of looks up, and then all of a sudden he sees all of you, and he pulls aside these lenses that when he first looks up, his eyes are like this big, and then he flips these magnifier glasses away from his eyes. I wasn't sure if I was going to see you again before you left.
Oh, here we are.
We wanted to swing by before we left Baldur's Gate here. How you doing, Heath?
You're leaving.
Yeah, we did what we came here to do, and we just wanted to check in with you before we left. Couldn't leave without one of Heath's hot and colds.
Well, I will gladly pour you a long winter hot cider. Allow me to pour it into, and he kind of goes, and he sets this
Yes.
he sets this mug that seems to be made of oxen horn,
Glorious.
and it has around it. Cari's going to get another.
She's getting it.
Man.
Cari's going to get another prop.
Uh-oh.
That's exactly what it is, except it has a leather band wrapped around it,
Oh,
and
does mine say Teera?
engraved into the leather on the mug is Vorn, and then he sets another one up that says Teera,
Aw.
and another one that says Mizya, and another that says Assyria, and another that says Doc. And he also, Assyria, pulls out a wooden bowl that he pours some cider into, and engraved into the side of the bowl is Soren's name.
Oh my gosh.
You all have personalized horn mugs.
Mizya
Mug
pulls
club.
out their gold pouch, their coin pouch. Yes, how much?
Aw. Thank you,
Well.
Mizya.
It'll be 2 gold will suffice for all of the beverages. But remember, you have to take your mugs into everywhere you go and tell them where you got them at Heath's Hot and Cool Drinks in the Wide in Baldur's Gate.
Absolutely.
Is the HHC engraved on the bottom?
It is now! It's
Awesome.
engraved on the bottom is a simple engraving that it looks like a mug that's got frothing foam coming out of the top, and it's got little heat waves, and it just says HHC on it.
That's heavenly. Oh
That's
my
great.
god.
That's amazing.
Everywhere we go, everywhere we go, we're drinking.
Oh,
one of these.
100%.
Mizya makes a big show, a big huff, and fine, slides over 2 gold pieces,
Thank you, Mizya.
and then kind of slides off to the side and just watches everybody as they kind of like joyously drink from their new mugs. And there's this little tiniest little bit of a smile that kind of like creeps up on the side of Mizya's mouth.
Aw.
Mizya's like
Aw.
everybody's mom on Christmas who's just sitting
Yeah.
there after making everything magical.
Can we do like an 80s ending where everyone like slams their, comes together mug club? Yeah.
So you all have your mugs, and
Yay.
Mizya secretly enjoys being the one that just bought you all your souvenir mugs at Cedar Point. And
I went to Boulder's Gate and all I got was
All I got
this
was this lousy mug.
t-shirt.
Hold on, Doc. Doc's not looking too pleased about it. Doc, what's up, man? I look over at Doc.
Oh,
What am I gonna do with this?
you can't drink.
Carry it around, Doc. It's a souvenir. You can
You're-
keep the
You
memories
could put
of our
your
adventure.
flowers in it. You could get some water and put your flowers in it.
It's to
Yeah.
remind you of us.
Yeah. You
Right.
might not like food or drink. You like us, right, Doc? Doc?
We'll work on it. We'll get you there.
I'm hurt.
Are you all right, Doc?
Is Gary frozen? I hope to God Gary's frozen and Doc isn't just giving us that look.
Come
What
on.
do you like,
he's
Doc?
Come on, Doc. Vornuk
That was
kind of hits
impressive.
Doc's shoulder
Like-
and doesn't like move. Like, come on, Doc.
It's like that scene in Rocky 4 where he's like,
Yeah.
but he,
Yeah.
like his gloves
Yeah.
don't budge.
That'll crush you.
Jesus, Jenny. All right. Well, we'll put a pin in that one. Let's start making our way back home, team.
Mug club.
So-
Mug club. Clink.
Yay.
you get your horses, you get your wagon, and you head back out of the city. And it takes you about an hour of traveling along the road before you leave the city and start heading south. And you have about 5 or 6 days of travel to get back to Candlekeep. As you travel out of the city, we switch to a third person view for a moment as you pass through the various areas of the city, and every once in a while a figure darts between buildings. Some shadowy figure skips across the rooftop. You're passing over a bridge and a figure ducks into the shadow underneath. And finally, after an hour, you leave across the bridge and head out of Baldur's Gate completely on the road south along the coastal way. The figure emerges from behind a tree. A woman, disheveled and dirty, a slightly twitching nose,
No.
and beady
no.
little eyes, and she watches you leave and she just says, "Good. Good. I hope you never come back." Over the next several days, you travel uneventfully. Spring is in the air. It is starting to, it's still cool at night, but it's starting to get warmer in the middays. Things are starting to look just a little bit more green. You are a day out of Candlekeep. And Teera, this day you happen to be the one who has the last shift on guard duty. And you move through in your triangular pattern, switching it up every once in a while, keeping an eye on all the aspects of the camp, making sure everybody's safe. And when you come back to one of the points where you were, you've been many times over the last couple hours, about 6 feet away from the fire, there's a little grouping of 3 rocks a couple of you probably sat on these rocks the night before while you were eating before calling it a night. As you come back around, there's a raven there, perched on the rock. And in front of the raven, on one of the other rocks, is a thin leather tome.
Huh.
And it's just sitting there looking at you as you approach.
Oh.
And it goes and pecks at the cover.
Teera kind of squints and looks at it for a second, and kind of sure that maybe she's just tired and kind of punch drunk, and sort of just. And as the seconds tick by, she becomes more and more sure that that's not the case and that it's real. And she goes over and picks up the little leather book.
As you get within about 4 feet of it, the raven suddenly flaps up to a branch. Not very loudly, but just a little bit of a call. And it's watching you as you reach down to pick up the tome.
Yeah, I do.
It's, like I said, it's a very thin leather book. You don't see any title on the inside or the outside.
Okay.
The cover, both the front and back cover, are cracked, unvarnished, very thin sheets of black oak. And you can see numerous places where there's scratches and peck marks. Looks like little claws scratched at the surface, little indentations. The binding is a black wire that holds the covers together. 33 pages of yellow, aged, wrinkled. You know how paper gets when it's gotten wet and then dried? They look like that. Just glancing at it, the pages have tiny, blotchy brown script written in a very unsteady hand. There's nothing to indicate who the author is. And as you hold the book open and the pages just sort of flutter a little bit in your hand, you see that there is a thin square of paper that has been attached to the back of the book, to the inside of the back cover. And on this piece of paper, it indicates this. You see the sigil of Candlekeep. And you see this marking. It's basically like the Faerun equivalent of the Property of Hastings Public Library stamp.
Oh,
it's the Candlekeep Library sigil on this piece of paper. And
is there a card in a pocket in the front cover that says when it was last checked out? Okay,
there's actually some very faded lines and marks on this where it indicates a date in which it was taken in, and there's initials that it's kind of hard. It's a real flowy script. It's hard to read what they are, but it says 1282 DR, Year of the Many Mists. And there is another piece of paper in there that, as you look at it, it's detached, it's folded, and it's separate. The paper's completely different than the rest of it. And we see you hold it up, and you can just faintly see from our viewpoint that there's some lines, some fancy script written on it. We see Teera's one eyebrow just kind of cocks up. You just kind of, and that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
What is it? You have to tell me at least, Jake. That's not how this works.
I didn't have this image queued up to show. And I'm going to hold it off until next week. But I will say this episode,
Teera raise an eyebrow.
This episode has concluded book 2 Next week will be episode 13 as we begin in book 3, the Book of the Raven. And
Ooh.
the gang has leveled up.
Hey!
So you are all
We're getting
now
less
level 3.
squishy all the time.
So I do believe, at least for 2 of you, there's a major decision. Maybe 3 of you. I think Ranger
Yeah.
makes their decision. I don't know about
Well,
artificers.
I
Do you-
have a decision to make.
Do you have,
Yes.
at 3rd level, you have to choose your way as well?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, everybody but Mizya has a major decision at 3rd level. Mizya's like,
Sorry, Dwight. Welcome back. It's a delight to have you.
Mizya, Gerald just says, "Oh, delightful. I'm willing to share more page space with you for more spells."
jeez.
That's all right. I made mine last level, so
There we go.
Catch
There
up.
we
I thought you were responding to Gerald when he's like, "I've made more room for you," and you're like, "That's all right."
That's all right.
No,
Okay.
no, that's okay. So
my God.
before we go,
Awesome.
I would like you all to roll your HP.
Yeah.
Hey. Now,
10.
so what is it for? Is it? Sorry, 5e newbie. Is it? Do I get it says my hit die is 2d12. So
No,
do I just
you
roll
roll 1d12. That's your
d12?
base hit die.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And you add
Okay.
your con modifier.
Yay, I will.
Yep.
Oh, I thought that was a 1 for you. It's a 7.
Plus 2.
I
12.
get 10.
So you got how many more?
30.
9 total? Teera?
I got 10 more total.
Oh, 10
So I
more.
got a plus 3 con mod.
Sweet.
So right
I
now
roll-
I'm at 38.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. Vorn, what you got?
Jake, what am I rolling? The D what?
I believe it's a D10 for D10 for you.
Okay.
Mizzy is a D6.
Ooh, that's gross. Power 1.
Reroll. Always reroll once
Ooh.
on
Oh.
hit die increase.
I do get to choose. Oh boy.
Yeah,
the
I have
path
a
of
big
the
decision to
I've
make.
got.
You have to choose your primal path.
Sick.
So
Oh my
Yes.
god, I'm gonna have to do some
6.
research.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta do research too.
What'd you get, a 6, you said?
Yeah, 6.
Plus your, is that plus your con?
No, my con is plus 4.
So you get a total of 10.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, Ricky.
Nice,
Nice.
Ricky.
Nice.
10 club, mug club.
Mizya, what'd you end
There
up
we
getting?
go.
I rolled a 6.
Nice. All right. So yeah, they're going to be not so squishy anymore.
A little bit
Yay. Maybe
squishy.
Teera won't
And-
die next book.
Yeah. So yeah, next week we will return with what'll be episode 13, book 3, the Book of the Raven, titled To Be Determined. And we'll kick off that with 5 newly minted level 3 adventurers, and 4 of them are making major decisions. And as we're preparing to head out, Hamster Shot
Thank you, Hamstar Shot.
just
Thank
gave
you.
just gave you 2 domain dice, rather
Ooh.
domain tomes.
2 tomes to go into the new book. Thank you.
as you head into the
Hamstar
new
Shot.
book. Yep. So you're going up from
Hey.
34 to 36. So let me get this right.
That
There you
is
go.
right.
Thank you so much, Hamster
Hurrah!
Shot. Thank you, everybody who tuned in tonight to join with us. We appreciate you so much. And if you are one of those folks that were not in the chat, you just like to lurk and listen in the background, thank you. We appreciate you just the same. I want to also, of course, as always, say a huge thank you to actually, before I do that, Gary, why don't you do I said I was going to do this at the end too.
Yes.
Why don't you do our
Yes.
announcement for our
Sure.
wonderful friend?
Yeah.
So, as we mentioned at the top our good friend Crucian is without a computer right now. And so we have banded together to try and raise awareness to let everybody know that she's looking for a little bit of help to get that new PC so she can continue to game with us. I'm assuming that by now Jake has preempted me and already put the link into a chat. So please do consider contributing to Crucian's Ko-fi to help her get a gaming computer. She helped me get one, and to help me produce Quest for the Cure, knowing that she was going to need one. So I can't say enough about how generous she is. And, thank you to everybody who's contributed so far. And even if you can't contribute, liking and sharing on social media gets it to that many more people who can help us toward getting her that goal of getting her that PC. So thank you to everybody who's contributed so far. And I've seen lots of tweets and likes today. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. And before we get out of here in just a moment, we are going to throw a raid over to I think we're going to raid Joshua Simons.
Yay!
So yeah, just stick around, make sure you use those emotes and let them know who sent you. As I cue this up, but I do want to say, as always, a huge thank you to my amazing players. Thank you to Gary, Jordan, Dwight, Cari, and Ricky, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for 2.5 hours.
Which you could do.
Which I could do, absolutely. Yeah, no question about it. No question. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not at all.
Awesome.
So with that, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.